Hi, guys.
Good evening, Ms. Reese. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, Shannon. Audrey, I hope you start feeling better. I've been sickish too, but I think I'm finally better.
Ms. Reese, I'm going to leave the meeting for a second because I can't hear you, but you can hear me.
Okay.
I don't know what's wrong with my speaker. I'm going to leave and come back.
My volume up, guys.
I can't hear
Can
you.
the rest of you hear me? Tamika, you can hear me okay? Okay. All right, Jonathan, then maybe just try again. Can you hear me better now? Okay, good. Okay, well, hopefully we'll have a few more people join us here. That's not what I want. Okay. Well, hopefully we'll have some more people join us here. Brandon, he's usually a little late getting home. I don't see Hunter tonight. I don't see Natalie yet. Jonathan is here. Don't see Kanisha. She's usually here, and Audrey's here. Okay. Okay, so I'm looking at the work that you guys submitted for today, the Word Module 1 stuff. And it looks like most of you guys did okay getting all of that submitted. There's a few of you that I can help you out with some of it. But it looks like everybody else did okay getting all 3 of those assignments submitted. So those of you that haven't got that done yet, I'll work with you. I'll answer questions that you have. I can get that open back up so we can get that done for this first week, because I want you to be able to do it and get started right. And so that won't be a problem. We'll just make sure that we get you going so you can get that done correctly. Okay, welcome, Hunter. If we have a couple more people come in, we'll just add them as they come in, I guess. So any of you have questions about the Word Module 1 stuff that we worked through?
Yeah, I do, but I mean, I'd rather talk to you after class because it was a little difficult for me to do it.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We can do that.
Same here.
Okay. All right. We can do that later on. So otherwise, we'll just go ahead and look at our Module 2 assignments. Let me. Okay, so this is, again, what you see on your screen now. This is going to be your start file for Module 2. So remember, it's basically going to be blank. Well, it is blank. It does have a footer in there that lets me and Sam know that it was made for you. So you need to make sure you download that. You will have to do this enable editing to be able to make changes to your document. Okay, well, then I will share this other one too. All right. So this is the final document. This is what it should look like after you get through your Module 2 homework. I'm sorry, textbook project. So let me just do the enable editing here. So we're doing a research paper, and it's really just over a page is all you have to type. So I know you're probably like, I don't want to have to type a research paper, but you do it in little chunks, and you do different skills in each of the paragraphs, and after they have you type just the little chunk of it. So, but I will tell you for the homework portion, you don't have to type it all. At least I don't remember you having to type it all. I think they give you part of it already done, and then you just make some changes to it. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys see that on my screen now, but this is what your homework one would look like. And then you'll just make changes to it according to your instructions that you're given. So a lot less typing with that one. However, you will have to make sure that you follow those directions and make sure that you get all of the settings correct, or you're going to have some issues getting it the way that it needs to be at the end of it. So let's see here. Okay, so we put it there. Gosh. Okay. Sorry, my husband just brought me some pizza for dinner, so we'll see if that gets eaten or not. All right. I'm always looking away from you. There, that's better. Now I can see myself and I can talk to you at the same time. So, all right. So doing our research paper, we are going to be using the Mla Style. In your textbook, it talks about some of the different aspects of the Mla Style. I know you guys are probably familiar with that if you've done any research papers for other people. It does talk a little bit about the APA style, mainly because those are two styles that have settings in Microsoft Word that help you with typing up a research paper. So one of the first things that you're going to do is in the let me go to the right one. In the References tab, not the Review tab, in the References tab, there's a Citations and Bibliography section. And in the style box there, I think it's, I don't remember what it's usually set to, but it's not the Mla style. So you have, one of the first things that you're going to do is go in and change it to the Mla style. Now, I like to point this out to you because it does show that it's the 7th edition. So if you're asked to use an 8th edition or a 9th edition or whatever edition they're on right now, you'll probably need to check to see what changes have been made so that you get everything done correctly. But I would venture to say that the 7th edition is probably what's most frequently used right now. If you do need to use this APA style, then you can choose that one, and then your endnotes or footnotes or whatever. I think it may use endnotes instead of a works cited page. So it'll set that up for you whenever you're putting citations and things in. So that's one of the main things that you need to do, as well as like normal, change your design theme to make sure it is what it's supposed to be. And I don't remember what this one is for this particular one, but it'll tell you as you work through your textbook project there. So you have 1.25 pages of research paper to type up. Your third page will be the works cited page, and I'll talk a little bit more about this later on, but just know that you will have a third page. You don't really have to do typing on this page, because as you go through and put your references in, it will you'll be able to just click a button and it will create your works cited for you, which is one really cool thing about knowing how to do this in Microsoft Word, and being able to use the skills that they give you there. And the other thing with the MLA style is you are going to be using parenthetical references or parenthetical, I guess it's just called references, where you'll see that mostly it's going to be the author's name in the parentheses where you quote that or get the idea from that author or authors, as the case may be. You will need to make sure you change your margins to the correct setting. As and it will tell you, I think they're all 1-inch margins. It should tell me right there. All right, so the other or another main skill that you will learn in this module is working with styles, which I've talked with you, I think. Oops, let me go to the home ribbon here. I showed you where the styles gallery was last week. You typically are going to use what's called normal style, but for our research paper, your normal style is that 1.15 spacing, where you have additional space at the end of a paragraph, where we talked about that last week. So it's usually this 1.15, and then you have additional space that you had to take out. And then last week, I think you added some before a paragraph too. Because our research paper is supposed to be double spaced, we changed the spacing for this. And one of the first things that you do is you go into your normal style, because that's what's selected. So if I come up here to the very beginning, I would right click on my normal style, and then you go into where you modify it. Okay, now you're going to do this for your style for your entire document, and then you will also have to do this later on for your textbook, footnote text style. We'll have to make changes to it as well to match what we've done here. So your normal style is typically the Calibri font. I think it's either 10 or 11 point. And so you go in here and you change it to the Times New Roman 12-point font. It is still left justified, so that's what this icon means. And then this is your line spacing. So this is your single spacing, this is 1.5 spaces, and this is double spacing. And in your textbook, it doesn't have you choose the double spacing here. It has you do it differently. But since I'm here and it's already selected, I'll let you know that's what that is. So you can do it this way as well. So your normal style has been changed to be the Times New Roman font, 12-point font, and double spaced. And then once you come into your document and start working on it, that's when they have you change the line spacing, which I already showed you you can do. And this is when they also have you go in and change the spacing. It would say remove space after paragraph, and that's what you'll want to do. Once you have made those two changes outside of your modification that you did here, you come back to your normal style and you choose this option that says update normal style to match selection. So now your entire document will be double spaced, Times New Roman, 12-point font, and that's what you're going to use throughout the rest of your research paper that you're creating. Once you get into putting your footnote in, the footnote style is not set correctly as well. So you'll have instructions to go through and modify that style. You're not going to use the normal style button up here. When you get down here into the footnote, you will right click on it and then go into the style button here. And then you'll choose the modify option here, which will take you into what it looks like what we just where we just were. So that's how you'll do the footnote once you get down to it. And I'll talk more about that when we get there. Okay, once you have in your document all of those settings set, you will then create a header which will show the author's name and a page number. There are a couple of different ways that you can get into the header to make that change. If you're in your document, you can just put your mouse up into what appears to be the header section, and you can double click and it will take you into the header section. Most people, though, are probably going to be more comfortable going into the insert menu. And then in your little sections here, you're going to look for the section that's called header and footer. And then when you go into the header, you will want to choose down at the bottom, just say edit header, and it will take you to the header where you can then you'll have to do a right alignment so that your name is all the way at the right edge. Once you have the name typed in, you'll hit the space bar. And then to add a page number, you cannot just type the number 1 there. If you type the number 1 is going to show up on all of your pages because the header is the same on all of your pages. So you will then go over here. So you type your name, a space, then in the page number section, you will choose current position and that you just want a plain number. So by choosing that, you'll then see the number 1 show up here. If you move your mouse over to that portion, it will put a gray box around the whole thing, or around the number 1, and that lets you know that that is a field that has been inserted, versus if I just am using my my arrows to move back and forth between the name that I've typed in, you just see the I-beam. You don't see it become a square. So that's the grayed out square. So that's what I look for when I go in.
Let me get my cover.
If you have any issues with that as far as grading, I go in to make sure that you've actually put that number in there. Question. Kanisha, did you have a question?
No, I didn't. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. All right, so that is how you'll create your header. Your textbook does talk about footers. We do not use footers in our MLA style, but it works the same way. Once you're inside the header, you can come out of the header by choosing close the header or footer. Or you can just double click down in the document where you're typing and toggle back and forth between them by doing a double click. All right, you'll begin by typing in the author's name, the instructor that it's for, and their class information over here. This used to be all included on one page called the title page, but what do they call it now? The course information, name and course information block, I guess is what they call it. So you'll put all of that at the left. You do want to make sure that it is double spacing for you. So you should see a blank line of space between each of those. If you're not, then you don't have your settings correct for your research paper. When you are finished with the date, I'm just going to press the enter key here. You'll press your enter key and your I-beam will be over here at the left edge. What they have you do is they have you use something called a click and type feature. So if you'll see my I-beam right now, it has a little left align icon next to it. Okay. If I move that closer to the 1/2 inch mark, you will notice that it has added a little arrow to that left align. So that tells me that if I click right here, I would start a paragraph with the first line indented. That's what that little arrow means there. It means it's going to start it with a tab at the beginning of it. If I keep moving my I-beam over towards the center, you'll see that there becomes a center justification icon below it. So if I were to click here, my my insertion point would move to the center of the page, and that's where I would type my heading of my or my title of my paper, because you want that line to be centered. If you do keep on going over to the right edge, you'll see that it does end up turning into the right align button. And so you can click over there and it would become right aligned. I don't want to add that extra line in there, so I'm just going to take that out. But you'll notice when I do click on this, that it is center justified or center aligned. When you finish typing your title and you're ready to start your first paragraph of your document, of your research paper, you press that enter key and you're still center justified. And I've had some students make the mistake of not changing it off of center justification. And so their entire research paper is done center aligned. And you don't want to do that. So you have to make sure that you change this back to left justify. And you can do that by using the icon up here on your home ribbon. You can do Control L. You can use your click and type to come back to the left edge. However you want to do that, you just need to make sure that you get back to the left edge of your document. Before you type your first paragraph, you also need to change the the format of all of your paragraphs so that they will have a first line indent. You'll notice here and that each one of these paragraphs starts indented. So what you do in your textbook is you learn how to use this ruler bar up here. So I'm just going to come up here and I'm going to change this back like it would be. So this is what it would look like if I don't have my first line indent set. You will need to make sure that your ruler is showing up here at the top of your document. If it's not, you will have to go to your view button, and then in the show section, your ruler bar will not have a check mark in it. You'll need to make sure the check mark is showing so that you see the ruler bar. Once you have the ruler bar showing, on the far left edge, you see something that looks like an hourglass, and it has a little square rectangle that it's sitting on. The top triangle, the bottom triangle, and the little rectangle are all three different parts that do three different things. If you grab the rectangle at the bottom, that's your left indent. So if I were to click and drag the left indent, then my entire paragraph indents however much I move that in. In this case, it's in half an inch, or I could go in a full inch. So that's called your left indent. That's not what we want to change. The bottom triangle that points up is your, if I can get it, yeah. So this is called your hanging indent. This is what will be used for your works cited, but again, you're not going to have to do the formatting of it. When you do the works cited, it's automatically going to be formatted the way you need it to be. So a hanging indent leaves the top line of a paragraph at the left margin, and then all of the rows that are below it are indented a half an inch, or however far you move that over. Okay, now if you see this, notice that I'm moving all of my lines of my paragraph. That means that when I tried to click and drag that hanging indent back, I actually got the left indent down here at the bottom. So it's moving everything at once. So I'll put that back. So if you want to move your hanging indent back, you have to, I saw it flash there just really quickly. You get in the right place, you will see that it says hanging indent. Well, I don't see it there, but you can move that back to the left margin. The top arrow that points down is your first line indent, and that is what you want to just click on and drag over to the half-inch mark on your ruler bar. So you may need to change the zoom and that will let your rulers show up a little bit bigger so you can see where the half-inch mark is, maybe a little bit easier. So you'll move that to the half-inch mark, and that will make your paragraph have the first line indented, and then everything you type underneath there will wrap around and be left justified as it needs to be. Once you press your enter key at the end of the first paragraph to start your second paragraph, it will automatically indent. So you're not going to have to worry about pressing your tab key at the beginning of every paragraph for your report. And that's one thing that some students forget to do, is press that tab key, and then their paragraphs aren't indented like they need to be. Okay, let me make that a little bit smaller again. Okay, so you'll use that ruler bar to make those adjustments. Now, for those of you that are like, that ruler bar thing is not working for me. If you go to your layout tab, actually, I think you can do it from your home tab too. Yeah. Your home tab or your layout tab, either one have a paragraph section. If you use your dialog box launcher from the paragraph section, Sometimes this is easier for students. You will see that the indentations, there is a special. And right now it has the first line indent is set to 1/2 inch. So it would be set to none when you come into it. And so let me say okay to this. So it will be set to none if you come into the dialog box launcher. In the indentation section, you can set your first line indent. It automatically does 1/2 inch. But that way, if you get a report that says your first line indent is not 1/2 inch, you could come in here and make sure it's set to 1/2 inch. Click the OK button, and then that's going to be set for you. As you press your enter key and go on to the next pages or the next paragraphs, it will automatically keep that first line indent for you. So I know I spent probably a little longer on that section than most people probably wanted, but that is a part that some students miss. So hopefully I've helped make that a little bit clearer for you. There is a part of the textbook next that talks about, auto-correcting as you type. So you're probably familiar with that, where you've typed the word and or the incorrectly, and it corrects it for you. So there is some information on there. If you're following the textbook, you're asked to mistype stuff so that you'll see how the autocorrect works. When you do get the autocorrect that is automatically done for you, you will see an autocorrect options button that shows up. Just read through the textbook so you're familiar with what that is. See what the options are that you can use from that button that pops up. Okay, I gotta get a drink here just a second. The next part of your textbook talks about adding an autocorrect entry. I know how to spell the word computers, but a lot of times my fingers go faster than they should, and I mistype it a lot. So you can go into the backstage view by going to the file, and then down at the very bottom, there's an options. You will have to go into the proofing section, and then here's your autocorrect options. Click on this where it says autocorrect options. You can type in, not in all caps. Okay. So this is how I type computers a lot, but it took me a little while to type it incorrectly there. So you can type in what you misspell or mistype, because most of the time we know how to spell it. We just type it incorrectly. Okay. Anyway, so if however you misspell it, then type it correctly here, and you can add your own words to what Microsoft Word will autocorrect for you. May or may not find that helpful, but it's something that you can do. It shows you how to do that in your textbook. All right, then you're going to add some more text, and we're down here now ready to put in our first source or citation. So this is where it will have you change that bibliography style. So after you've typed the word fingers, go back here. Okay, so you will have typed the word fingers and then you will type, or you will press the space bar. So you need to pay attention to if it has you press the space bar, if it doesn't have you press the space bar, if you type the period, or if you're not supposed to type the period, because there's all different ways that you do for your citations that you put in there. So just make sure you pay attention to that. But to put your first citation in, after you've changed in the reference, you'll do a lot of your stuff from this references tab. Make sure you've changed the MLA style, and then you're going to come to the citations and bibliography section, and you're going to click on insert citation, and then you're going to choose add a new source. So when you add a new source, this is where some students have problems as well, because by default, the type of source that shows up is a book, okay? So you need to make sure that you change it to, in this case, it's supposed to be an article in a periodical, but there's all kinds of different types of sources that you can have there. So just make sure that you get the correct one, because based on which type of source you have, you will get different options here to create your source. So you have to start off correct, or you're not going to have the correct choices. So this is what I really like, because I haven't written a research paper in a really long time, and I'm really glad about that. But when I did, I was like, am I supposed to have a comma or a period here? Is this supposed to be in italics, or is it supposed to be underlined? Do I put a colon there, or is it supposed to be a semicolon? Is it just a space? Whatever. Those are things that just kind of drive me crazy doing my citation things. So the nice thing about this, you're just going to type exactly how they have it in your textbook. So you'll put, whoops, I got to get to the right thing here. So in your author, you're going to type in their last name first, and then their first name. Now, I will tell you, a lot of people get the title of their author's name counted off for some reason. I don't know if it's because they hit the space bar after this name, because I'll go in and I'll look at it. The author's name is spelled correctly. Everything looks fine. So I don't know what it is that they get counted off on, but I'll just let you know that ahead of time. So if that's something that happens to you, don't stress out too much about it, because it's just one of those grading things that happens. And I usually go in and take a look at stuff like that. Then you'll just go into the title, type the title in. You'll type your periodical title. Then you'll type the year, the month, and the day. Now, I'm sorry, the year, the month, yeah, okay. The year and the month. It looks like there's not a day here. On the pages line, you are going to type, it's a lowercase n and a period, then a space, and then PAG and a period for your pages. So make sure you type the periods where you're supposed to, according to your textbook instructions, because otherwise it will get counted off for you. So once you have all that information typed in there correctly, you click your OK button. I'm just going to click cancel because I already have that in there. And then your reference or your citation will pop up here. You also, oops, sorry, I forgot. Okay, If you're like me and you get out of this, you can go back in and do edit a source. Because what I was supposed to tell you is you have to click the show all bibliography fields, because even though we have the month and the year here, we also need to enter, because this was done on the web, we also need to enter the year that we accessed it, the month that we accessed it, and the day that we accessed it. So make sure I didn't scroll down far enough in the textbook as I was reading through there. So it's usually a good idea to do show all fields so that you can see everything that's a possibility when you're setting up that source that you have there. All right, I'll just cancel out of this for now. So once you have clicked your OK button, then you will see this ZOW, I guess is how you say that, source, I don't know, in there. You will then use your arrow keys to arrow over to the end after the parentheses, and that's when you'll type your period. Okay, so make sure you type fingers, space, then work with getting that citation put in there. Then you have to arrow over to the end on the right-hand side of that last closing parentheses, and that's where you'll type your period in. So you'll have to do that for whenever you have citations at the end. Just make sure you pay attention to the instructions that are given to you so you get all of that typed in where it's supposed to be. All right, then you'll type this next or the rest of this paragraph. So you'll have this part here that you got to finish typing up. Okay, and then you'll notice that we have another source here, or the citation. And then right after the citation, you have this, oh, good grief. Okay, right after this citation, you have this little superscript here, which is our footnote. So your next part of your textbook talks about going through and doing your footnote. So again, here, you're going to type repetitive strain injuries. And then you won't have the Clark and Nadir there yet. So you'll type the word injuries, a period, and then to put in your footnote, you will have to come up here to your reference tab, and then over here in the footnotes section, there are also endnotes. So make sure you choose the one that says insert a footnote. When you click on that, it will put this superscript 1 right here, but it will then also put a line down at the bottom of your page, and then your insertion point will be here after this one superscript here for your footnote text. What is this called here? You will type your footnote text in, and it will, I think it types in Times New Roman, but it types in 10, and it types in with probably that 1.15 spacing. Okay, so that's what it would look like. And this is where you would have to go in and do the styles and then modify so that is Times New Roman 12 point. You can do the double spacing here. And then, oh, you'll also have to do the first line indent. I'm not sure that it does that for you automatically. No, it doesn't. You have to set the first line indent. So you can do that all here in the modify style. but there's an extra step to do the indent the first line. You'll have to come down here to the format button in that lower left-hand corner, and then you can go into the paragraph section. And here is where you can set your first line indent to that 1/2 inch. Okay. If you don't remember that, because that's not how your textbook has you do it, when you click on your OK button here and you apply this, then you can come back and go into your layout tab and then do your first line indent here in that paragraph section. So it's the same place, it's just different ways of getting there to do it. Okay. So what you're going to do here is you're going to just type up to the word untreated, and then you're going to have a space bar, and then they will have you put in what's called a citation placeholder. So the way that you do a citation placeholder is you'll just have your insertion point here. And then you will go up to the references, and you will do where it says insert citation, you can just say add a new placeholder. And what you'll do there is you'll just put in the name of the author. So you can just type in Clark. Okay, why is it not saying okay there? Let me do it over here and see if it works over here. So insert a new placeholder. Oh, I may have to do Clark too, because there's probably already one named Clark. Okay, maybe not. I'll use the last name. Madeer. Okay. So when you put in a placeholder, it'll just put in the author's last name. And then you will have to remember, okay, yeah, now I need to go back and put all of that information in for that author's book or periodical or article or whatever you're doing. So once you have that typed in there, then it's actually going to be this one here. You'll move to the end, and that's where you'll put your period, is after the author's name. Because okay, because this is, well, I'll go back. So you're going to have this placeholder here, and once you're done and you got that period put in there and everything, you will come in here and then you're going to do edit your source. So right now, your source looks exactly like this. It's blank because all you've done is put in a tag name or a placeholder name. Okay. So this one is going to be a book. So you'd have to change this to a book. And then the other thing I'll show you here, because this citation has 2 authors. So you have to put in both authors. So to be able to put in 2 authors on this line here, you're going to go all the way to the far right edge where it says edit. And this is where you'll put in the last name. And I don't know, what is this guy's name? Addison Lee. I don't know why you have to put middle names in, but they give you middle names. So make sure you put those in there. You'll add the first author, and then you'll come back and you can put the second author in. Okay, so once you have the second author, you can add that. And then when you click OK, it will list those both there for the author. Then you'll just fill out the rest of the information. If you need to do the show all bibliography fields, you can do that. Just again, make sure as you fill this information out that you do type it in correctly. Make sure that you get the year where you want it. Is it the year it was published, or is it the year you accessed it? Whatever. So you just need to make sure you get that information in there correctly. But you should be able to do those two authors that way. When you have your citation all put in the way you want it to be, it will show up as Clark and Nadir. It will not have your page numbers here. So what you would have to do is come in, because we've typed here in our footnote according to Clark and Nadir, we do not need to retype or reuse their name in the citation over here. So what you do is you go in here to where it says edit citation. You suppress, and when you suppress something, you leave it out. So we'll suppress the author, but we will add the page numbers 65-66. Now, if I click the OK button, it should only show the page numbers for me. If for some reason you are also getting the year, you can make sure that you click the year or the title off so that you're not getting any of that. You only want, oops, now I did it. You only want the page numbers to show up. Again, that should be before the period that we typed in there already. All right, just next section in your book talks about working with endnotes and footnotes. So you might want to read through there, see the difference between them, and see what it's going to look like for our, or the difference between what a footnote and an endnote would look like. All right, they have you type this part of this next paragraph down through the word sound. And you're getting close to the bottom of the page. So here's where they stop and show you how you can use the word count. The word count is actually always working. It shows up down here on your status bar. You should be around 231 words at this point. So if you're not 231 exactly, this may be where you want to go back and say, hey, we got a mistake somewhere, see if you can figure out where that is. But the word count shows up down here. And probably wherever I'm clicking on is 44 of 341 words. But that's where you can look at that, and it has you do a couple things while you're there. Probably none of them graded though. All right, as we're nearing the end of this first page, you'll see in your textbook, it talks about automatic page breaks. So whenever we finish typing all that will fit on one page, the computer automatically, or the program automatically types up what would be next that goes on to the second page. it automatically puts in what's called an automatic page break or a soft page break. So that's what happened here between the words noise canceling and technology. We have a soft page break. You'll see, because I am using my page layout view, that I have the margins, and then this a little bit darker gray than the white paper shows, signifies the change from page 1 to page 2. So that's what automatic page breaks are. You will see those as you move through. If you have your if you're set to page layout, you'll see the change from one page to the next page, signified by this. If you have an I-beam that shows 2 arrows going back or pointing towards each other, you can double click, and what that does is it hides the white space. Oops, I didn't do it there. Okay, it hides the white space. So here is the end of my first page where my footnote is, and then this is the beginning of the second page. And so you'll just see a very light gray line go through there to show where the end of page 1 is and the beginning of page 2 is. Now you'll see that at the bottom of page 2, you'll actually see something that says page break. That's because we're going to put in what's called a hard page break. We just talked about soft page breaks or automatic page breaks. When your text gets to the end of a page, automatically goes to the next page with a soft page break. When we get finished with our second page here, we have nothing else to type, but we need our works cited page to be on the beginning of a new page itself. So we have to put in what's called a hard page break. There are a couple of different ways to do that. I always learned how to do it by pressing Control Enter. So that's what I typically use. But you can also do it by going to the Layout tab, and then where you see breaks, you can insert a page break. And that will show up, well, it's going to be labeled page break. Now, I don't need both of those, so I'm going to undo it. But when you have a page break, you'll see their little black dotted dots that go on either side of that. If you put in one too many page breaks, you can get your mouse on either side of it. If you're on this side of it, you would press the delete key. If you're at the end of it, you can press your backspace key and get rid of that page break if you have it where you don't need it. So that's a little bit about how automatic and hard page breaks work, where you go from one part to the next part on your document. Okay, enter or tab. All right. So then after you have typed this first line in your second page, you'll put in another placeholder here for the author Cengage. And then that is how to show and hide the white space, which I showed you. And then you're going to edit this source. So you'll go in here and change all of that information for, maybe, if I can get my mouse to click over here. It's not wanting to do that. I want to click outside of that. Okay, well, you'll go into the Cengage in your drop-down menu, you'll get the option to edit it. And so you'll want to go in and edit your reference there to Sanchez. Okay, we'll just have to move on because I don't know why it's not going in there. All right. Then you're going to add the last paragraph. And your works cited page, you do have to insert a hard page break, so you'll need to make sure you press your enter key. I'm sorry, your control and enter key to move to the next line. Your mouse. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. When you get to the works cited page, now it's clicking on something. Okay. When you get to the works cited page, the word works cited, when you press the enter key, it has that first line indent with it. So you have to make sure you remove it. And because I'm looking at the final copy, mine has already moved back to the left edge of our document. So you'll need to make sure you do that. Otherwise, your word works cited is not going to be centered on the page. So this would be left justified. Whoops. And then if I have my first line indent and I try to now center this page, or center this line, you'll notice that it's not exactly centered because it has an indent in front of it. So if you do type it in before the indent is taken off, you can always move it back. But you need to make sure you do that for the works cited heading, or it will not be in the correct position. All right, so we got our works cited, and then to put in our bibliography list, this is what's really cool. Let's kind of get rid of all that. All right, so you'll press your enter key, you'll be down on the next page, and then to put in our references, you'll come in here, and then this is a place where a lot of students have problems. We only want this to say works cited in black, centered on the first line. Whenever you get ready to insert your bibliography, then you'll come all the way down to the bottom where it says insert bibliography. The ones that are listed here, you'll notice that they have words in blue. So this says bibliography in blue, references in blue, and works cited in blue. We've already typed the word works cited. If we click on this one, it's going to show up again, and you'll notice that they're not indented like we want them to be. So we'll just click on insert bibliography. It automatically puts those hanging indents in there for you, and it puts everything in author's name. If it's supposed to be italicized, if it's supposed to have a comma or whatever, it's all put in there the way that it needs to be. And that is one of the things that I like the most about learning this module, because that is a pain. I would rather type all that information in, and you could just go in and add a new source, add a new source, add a new source at the very beginning. So you have all of your sources in, and then when you get ready to enter a source or enter a where you need to put this citation, you can just put your insertion point where you need it, come in, choose your reference, and it'll just put it right in there for you. And then you just keep right on typing. So you can put them all in if you want to at the very beginning. All right, then it goes on about proofing a document, so you can read through that. It does have you check the it has you edit the source of one of these because you've typed the name. Well, they told us to type the name incorrectly. So if you need to make changes to some of these, you don't have that option in this drop-down menu here. So you have to go into Manage Sources, and then you will see your current list of sources that you've already typed in there. So they have you go to the ZAO source, and you want to make changes, so you can just click on Edit. And they have you type monthly medical something and review, and it's just monthly medical review. So you take out a word in that title there. Once you have that change made, you can click the OK button, and then you can click the close button here because you've made changes to that. But it should update your citations. What it might not do is it might not update, it probably won't update your works cited page. So if you've made changes, you will have to come into your your works cited, and you can do a right click, and then you'll see where it says update field. If you click on that update field, it will then update your changes that you made in that source to the source in your works cited page here. I don't know why you would want to convert this to regular text. Right now, if I click on it, you'll notice that, no, I can. Usually if it's a group like this, you're not able to go in and make changes to it. But if you want to, you can change it to what's called static text, or text that's not in a field box or brought in from something else. Make changes to just that one part of it. And then you can change it to regular text, so it doesn't all highlight like this. And you do that, I never can remember this. It is Control Shift and the F9 key, which is up against the top thing of your keyboard. So my keyboard is not working all the time, so that may be why it's not doing it. Okay, so now it looks like it changed that. So now you see how it's not grayed out as I click through here. So if I wanted to make a change to one of my sources and I went to update it, it wouldn't do it because I've changed it to static text now. So it's probably a good idea to leave it as the regular citation that you put in. They do show you in your navigation pane, which I don't usually use this. Oh, I gotta go to view. Okay, so here's my navigation pane. If you have a larger document that has headings, it will show you those so you can skip through your document by headings. If you select pages, you'll see that you have 3 pages. If you have a longer document, this is probably more helpful, but I see I'm on the works cited page. I can just click on page 1 and I go back to page 1. Your results are if you do any searches or anything like that. You can search in your document, it'll find the things for you. So that's a little bit about your navigation pane. It talks about it in your textbook, but I don't usually use it a whole lot. So if you find it helpful, you could use it by all means. They have found another place in your paper that needs to have a citation made to it. So you'll add one of these citations that we've already done. I don't remember where it's supposed to go, but in the references, you can just do insert citation and then choose the correct one that they want you to use, and it will put that information in there. If you do get a citation in a wrong place, like let's say it's supposed to be over here between the E and the period, you can select it and then you should be able to click and drag it. No, maybe not. Yeah, so you'll be able to click and drag wherever you see that I-beam. And so let's say it goes here, then it will adjust it and move it. So you can do that without having to go back in, delete it, and put another one in the correct spot. Okay. They also show you how to use the find. That is something that you can do in the navigation pane. You can, I don't know. So I can look for the word listening, and I see that it is in 2 places. So it shows me, it gives me a little heading or a little location here of where they each are. They also highlight them over here. So if I decide I don't want that, I could right click on one of them and let me see what's similar to this, and make some changes to that using the thesaurus. It takes you how to use the spelling and grammar checker, which you guys should be familiar with that. Also talks about your main dictionaries in here. And you can, if you have a name that's spelled unusually like mine, Rebecca is usually with a CCA. That's how it's found in a lot of dictionaries. So I usually go in and put in the dictionary of the computer the correct spelling of my name. I just add it, and that way you don't get the spell checker to stop on it all the time. So you can do that if you have an unusual spelling of your name, or I think it's a normal spelling, but people just don't know it is. So, but there's some other information in there, what to do. There is a thing called the Smart Lookup. You can like have your word selected, and then where is it? I thought it said, oh yeah, I have to be on the references, and then I can do a search, and it will search for headphones, and it will bring up headphones over here on my right hand side, which is hidden by you guys right now. So okay, then there's just other information in there. Changing to read mode. you do that under the view menu, you can go into read mode. And what it does is it just, it makes this bigger, but it's not spaced out on the page in the correct way that I think it should be. So I guess if you just want to read through it and see that, it gets rid of all the other stuff on your screen also. So to get out of it, you just go to view and edit your document. If you want to. So also it does have you put in comments. This is something new that we've not done. We've had the capability of doing them, but we've not ever made comments. So in your homework portion, they will have comments made, and you will have to reply to them or delete them or say that they're okay. But what you do is you go to, it tells you where to go, and then you will, in the reviewing section, go in and type a new comment, and then, I don't know, you're supposed to type something in here. Follow the directions better than I did. And then you can just, I guess, click reply and it'll put in there, or I don't think you're supposed to click reply. I think you just type it in there and then you go on. Okay, so they have you add a couple comments in there too. And then it shows you how to use to go to a comment. You can do, oops, the previous ones or the next one. Since I only have one in there, you can't really do that. Then you can come in here and you can reply to it, or if it's been resolved, then you can say, okay, it's been resolved, and it will gray it out. But if you want to remove it, then I think you can remove it. Oh yeah, so up here is delete, but I think if you right click on it, you can delete it also. But you have that option up here in the review section as well. Okay, so let me minimize this. All right. So, okay, I got through that a little bit faster than I did last week, but we also didn't do, or we had some other stuff that we covered at the beginning last time. So, but I know I went through a lot of that stuff pretty fast. Do you remember that this recording will be on the announcements where I have the Zoom link? And you also have the videos of me working through the textbook projects available to you on Blackboard. So you can always look at those if you need to. Just remember, as you're working through your textbook project, to make sure you go all the way through the textbook and do all the steps up until where you see the summary start. Some people kind of get to the end, and they'll skip through that comment part. They won't do that on their project before they submit it. But you need to make sure you do all the way to the end to submit your stuff. Any questions about Module 2?
Miss Rebecca, I don't have a question about Module 2, but I have a question in general when we're doing our assignments. I know that we get 3 attempts to do an assignment. And the first one we did last week, so I did it, and then I got a score, and then you know how it tells you what you did wrong. and you
Yes.
go to make the corrections and resubmit it, do you have to start all the way over, or can you
No.
use the document that you have and resubmit?
Yeah, you use the document that you've created, make some changes to it, and then resubmit the same document.
Okay.
You just have to make sure, because when you get that report, at the bottom
Mhm.
of the report is what you submitted. And on more than one occasion, when I sit down to help students, that is where I make my changes. And you can't make your changes in the report. You have to go back and open up your original document,
Okay.
and submit that. And sometimes you get far enough through it in your report and you're like, okay, I've got all done. You save it. And then you go back to submit and you submit the exact same document that you submitted the first time, which is going to result in hopefully the exact same score. But sometimes Sam grades it differently, even though it's the exact same thing. But just make sure you get the document that you want to submit and make changes on it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, if you guys do not have any questions, you can work and hang out with me. I can be here to help answer any questions. If you want to go ahead and leave and just work on it on your own, no, you can always contact me. I'll be sitting out here probably working with a couple students for a little while, and then I'll probably go so I'll have my phone next to me. If you guys need to call while you're working on stuff, you can do that. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Your module 3 stuff will be out there if any of you want to start working on that sometime this week, and that's what we'll cover next week in class. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, and before you guys go, those of you that wanted to meet on campus, I checked and I've been told we cannot do that at least until February 14th. And I think because it's just a temporary thing, they're hoping we can get back in the classroom. And then we'll have that available to us. But I will make available to you guys, if you want to meet, tomorrow night or Thursday night or Saturday or something, where we can kind of do a one-on-one at Starbucks or Panera or a public library. If you would like to have me do that between now and next week, just let me know, and I can get that scheduled and we can meet somewhere, because I know sometimes it's just helpful to be able to sit and have it in front of you and go, okay, this makes more sense now, versus listening to me and then going to try to figure it out all on your own. We'll right now plan on the 14th, 15th, but it'll be the 15th, which will be when we do our first test over Microsoft Word. So hopefully we'll be back in the classroom then. But like I said, if any of you want to meet with me before then, outside of class, just let me know and we'll make something happen, okay? All right. If you don't need anything else, you can go ahead and head out, and I will work with you guys on your own.
For me, I know I came in late. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So it's on Cengage, just the creating a research paper, module 2.
Module 2, and for those of you that had issues, oops, hold on, let me get these people in here. Okay.
Yeah, my Cengage was acting weird. Like the first time I bought it, last week. Then I came back on it. Was it either this morning? Yeah, this morning.
Yes.
I mean, it didn't. I had to buy it again, but they didn't take the. I don't know. They gave me the money back and everything, but I just had to go through the whole process and everything again. I'm like, I don't know why.
Okay, but they got you figured out, so you're good to go now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Yeah, there were a few people that had some issues this week, and so the module 1 stuff has been already graded in at the Cengage site. But for those of you that kind of struggled a little bit with some of it, I'll go in, I'll adjust your due date, so it'll be back available to you, and you'll be able to go in and submit your stuff, and then get your reports and submit them a second and third time if you want to.
Okay.
And I know I usually leave the first week open a little bit longer than the 1 week, but I think I did good just to get the dates correct this time. So, but yeah, I'll go in and change those due dates for those of you that had some issues this week. So that won't be a problem.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I missed what you were saying. I got kicked out. The Wi-Fi
Okay.
shut off over here.
Okay. So I was just saying at the end that they're not going to let us go to the classroom and meet until the 15th of February. So we will just continue doing this. But I also said, Miles, if any of you guys want to get together individually, either at a library or Panera or Starbucks or McDonald's has Wi-Fi, I just let me know what works for you. Evenings are usually pretty good. If it has to be during the day, there's usually other people here in the shop, so I can get away for about an hour or so if I need to during the day and meet with some of you, because I really think that will help some of you that are struggling with how am I supposed to do this, because you just see me, you don't see me submitting it into Cengage, looking at the report, getting it back and going through all of that process. So
Right.
I understand that, and that's why I'm willing to work with you guys and help you and give you some additional time here. But at the same time, I want you guys to get going on it so that you're not super far behind, and we get to our test date and you're like, oh, I don't have any of this done.
Yeah. Because
So,
I literally had this class last semester and I had it on virtual.
yeah.
And then I dropped it because it was so hard doing it virtual. So I need to do this in
Right.
person. So that's kind of frustrating, but I mean,
Yes.
I'll do what I can.
I totally understand that. And so, I am very willing to meet with you guys anytime outside of class, somewhere where we can meet. And if you have your computer and I can have my computer, we can kind of use them to go back and forth and look at both things. Then I'm okay doing that. So, and for those of you that probably most people only have one computer, I'm spoiled because I have several in my shop, so I can kind of use multiple ones if I need to, but not everybody has that. You can, if I did not say this when you guys were available listening or whatever, you can download a Cengage app on a tablet or probably a Chromebook if you have that, an iPad or whatever kind of tablet you have, or your cell phone. There is an app that you can download on your cell phone that you can view the textbook in. So that would be a possible option. So you're not having to go back and forth between screens, especially a lot of people that have just a laptop now. That's kind of a pain to go back and forth on a laptop between screens. So if you have something else that you could use, whether it's your phone or a tablet of some kind, you can, or if you have a kid that has a Chromebook, or those Surface Pros or whatever they have now in Lee Summit District, I don't know where you guys are, but you probably could download the app on those. You're just not able to do Microsoft Word or Microsoft applications on Chromebooks, but you should be able to use it to get an app. But that way you can read your textbook on a separate screen than where you're trying to work. So
I downloaded Mindtap I mean, I have the option, but I wanted to put it on my computer. I mean, my phone too, and my tablet, just in case I wanted to do it. And but I can't. So is Mindtap and Cengage, are those two different? Because I remember in the instructions, well, in the beginning it said to download Mindtap, but I can't log in.
On your well, what you need to what app you need to download is it is a Cengage app.
That's what I thought that's
And
what
let me see. Yeah, so well, it looks like there's now one that says, well, I don't know if you can do that library one. That's probably if you have more than one book, but it is let me see here.
Yeah, the Cengage.
Yeah, it's a little grief. It's going to be a blue app, and it has kind of like white things that almost look like a gear
Like
around
this.
it.
I don't know if you can see it.
Yes,
With
that one's
the,
it. That's it. Yeah.
so why did
Yeah.
it tell me to download Mindtap? Does it not? Because yeah,
Well, you might be able to
because it turns like once you log into Cengage, because like now when I log into Cengage, now it says Mindtap. Like there's a
okay.
tab up
Yes.
here that says
Yes.
that. So
It is it's basically the same thing. People can take this class and not have the Mindtap version. The
okay.
Mindtap version gives you the electronic textbook and links to your grades, and your grades can be imported into Blackboard. If people don't want to use the electronic textbook that has also your links to the projects, like ours does, you have to go to a separate Cengage login, which is actually SAM. And then you have to go into SAM, download your projects from that, and then go back into SAM and submit them. So some people choose not to use the Mindtap version of this. So they just use the electronic textbook and SAM. I just find it easier to do all of it because I can set up my assignments. They're all there. You guys can figure out how to go in. And once you get kind of through the Microsoft Word portion of this, then you're like, okay, I got it. I figure out how to go in and get my assignments and get them submitted and stuff. So that's why it's called Cengage Mindtap, because you can have a Cengage textbook that doesn't go with Mindtap. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Any other questions?
Yeah, my question was, I don't understand, well, not understanding like that, but I was like totally struggling trying to do that first. I guess like the little first walkthrough we did. And I even pulled up the videos, and for some reason I could only get so far to where I could download it, but then it wouldn't let me like upload it to the Cengage part or whatever. So, and I still have to purchase the Cengage. I was on the 7-day trial thing, I guess it
Yeah.
was. So I still have to purchase that, which is what I was trying to do today, but I got busy. So hopefully if the weather's not too bad, I'll get out and get it, but I'll get it before the end of the week.
Okay. Okay, yeah, and once you, if you go into Cengage, like you're trying to go into assignment for class, and it will give you the message and it says, do you want to purchase now? And if you just say yes, go in through that and purchase it, it probably will be a smoother process than going out to purchase it and then trying to get access code put in and all of that later on. I think it's a lot smoother if you do it the other way. But I'm really not sure because I don't do that part of it. But the Cengage people are really very helpful, and they probably have a chat if you need to chat with them to help you get it all set up and stuff. But if they aren't available, or then you can try me and I'll see if I can help you at least get it set up. So
I believe I already had it set up. Like I opened up the account, I opened up a new account, I have a password. I guess it's just that once I
okay,
get in there, I have to get the code. When I was trying to do the work that we had to do last week, I was having issues with it. I couldn't understand why, but I guess I wasn't getting it properly.
okay. Have you downloaded Microsoft Office onto your computer?
I believe so. I believe I did that the first night.
Okay.
Let me check.
Because some people haven't downloaded it all the way. They just use like the online version, and then some of their things are grayed out. They can't use all of them. So that's why I ask. But hopefully, once you get all of that paid for and in, then you should be able to do okay with it. But there are videos. If you didn't get a chance to watch all of the videos, most of them are pretty short. When you first get into that Mindtap, the welcome to your course, they'll have some different videos in there. So you can watch those if you want to and see if those are helpful at all in getting started with anything that you're struggling with.
Yeah, I did that also. I was trying to. I was going back and forth, and then I don't know. Another thing I had an issue with was trying to watch the recorded videos from you. It said something about that was private or something.
Okay.
Like, oh.
Okay. Well, yeah, I never know what to check on there. It's like only people with your link can watch it, or people with that you give permission to. So I don't know. I guess maybe I should just make them all public, but I don't want just anybody watching me because I'm not really that exciting and I don't do that good of a job of going through it. So nobody, I don't think anybody, but I have made a couple of them public, and I get comments on them, and they're like, can you do more of those? And so maybe I should just make them all public, and then it won't be a problem. So I can do that.
And it is other ones. It's other instructors that have put the same videos up that you have. Because I was accidentally watching a man for
Oh
some
yeah.
reason. Yeah, but and then once he started talking, I had to switch because I put your name in because I something with that the first module video on YouTube, it just was spinning and spinning and spinning for a long time. I had got almost halfway through it and it wouldn't keep going. So I just
Oh,
logged out and
okay.
started watching it on my phone. And that's when I
Yeah.
ended up watching a
Okay.
man's, but he was
Yeah.
doing the same work that we're doing now.
Yeah. Okay.
There's other people
Okay.
on there. But
All
I
right.
had another question too.
Okay.
And then I don't know. About I did download the Cengage, and
Uh-huh.
it's downloaded now. The book is downloaded. So all of the projects in the work that we do or the assignments that we have, they're in the book. Is that right? Is it step
The textbook projects are. The
right? Okay.
textbook projects, you download your start file, and basically your instruction file is your textbook. For the homework projects, or the second project you do, there's an instruction file that you download at the same time when you download your start file.
Okay.
So that's what
it
you'll
was
use
different.
for the second.
I didn't remember getting one for the hand washing flyer, but the college one,
Yes.
I was able to print that off and just go. But I didn't. I mean, the
Yeah. So the
hand
hand
washing, I had to
washing,
go from screen to screen.
yeah, the hand washing is strictly in your, it's your textbook.
Okay.
You
It
have
was a
to
tab.
walk through
That's
it
what.
to do the hand washing flyer.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, that was it. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Let me know if you need anything.
Okay. Thanks. Have a good night.
You too.
Thanks.
And then I'm on the same boat with Jonathan
Yes.
with the Cengage. I did the 7th day, and I guess all of a sudden today, well, I was doing the other assignments this past week, and then when I started the Word assignment today, it wouldn't let me get back on.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
But
So yeah, I'll go in and I'll make those available to you guys so you can.
I was just gonna get it with the refund. I was gonna use everything I needed to get for school with the refunds. I guess that's supposed to come this week.
Okay.
So
Okay. So.
but I'll get everything done. That's just what's been going on. Been a little frustrating.
Yeah, I understand. It is always challenging at the beginning of the semester because, I mean, you know, it seems like I always have students that's waiting on financial aid or, you know, something like this. And so it's, you know, I'm pretty easygoing about it. And I'll give you guys the opportunity to get your stuff all done. So don't stress about it. We'll get you there, okay? And I know it's got to be frustrating having to do virtual again. I think it's so silly that they won't let 5 people come into the classroom. But anyway, hopefully we'll be there by the 15th. So
right. Thank you so much, Rebecca.
All right.
You have a good night. I appreciate you.
Okay, sure. Thanks, Miles. Bye.
Bye.
Do you need anything else? You're fine.
Oh, I'm sorry. One other question. You said I need to download Microsoft Office.
Yes.
Is that does it have like a little square, like a red square?
Yes.
Okay. And I thought I downloaded it the first night when I was going through the syllabus a little bit, because when I was reading the syllabus, that was the first kind of thing I clicked on. I'm pretty sure it's still on the syllabus. I'll see if I can. I thought I downloaded. I must have created a password that I must have forgot, but
okay. And also on Blackboard, there's in somewhere in one of those places, there is instructions for how to go through downloading it. And you need to be like logged into your MyMCC account.
Yeah.
And in your email, you can go in and you click to download and install it. So that will hopefully help you have a little better success when you start getting into your Word projects as well.
Okay. And when is a good time? I would be willing to meet with you. It would have to be more like evenings. The only day I'm really not available is Thursday, because I have a Thursday evening class also.
Okay.
But whenever is a good. I mean, I hate to suggest it for you, but I mean, I would say that whatever's a good day for you, maybe you can post it and see if other people want to join, and if they, that way, so you can kill more than one bird with one stone.
Yeah. Where are you located? Are you in the Lee Summit area or
close to it? I'm in the Grandview.
Grandview? Okay.
Yeah, I'm roughly about 10 minutes away from the school, like 10 to 15 minutes tops.
Okay. I mean, because we could meet out at the McDonald's out there, by campus.
Is McDonald's by the campus? I
Yeah, because they should have, well, yeah, you may not get that far. It's, you know where the CVS is there on the corner?
I believe
Of
so. I believe I've seen
Longview and,
CVS off of Longview
yeah,
and like
there's
View High
Longview and
Drive
Longview is View High
and Third
um,
Street.
and Third Street. If you
Okay.
go down Third Street, like you're going back or down to Lee Summit, there's a
Uh-huh.
McDonald's down there, just past the gas station. I mean, it's not far at all.
Okay.
But yeah, if you don't go down Third Street, you won't know it's there.
Okay.
But we could meet out there. Do you want to try to meet sometime tomorrow? I mean, literally, my evenings, my kids are both in college and my husband is a school teacher, so we don't usually have a lot going on. Oh, well, actually, tomorrow may not be very good because
Yeah,
of the weather.
I mean, we
But
can, if I can, what I'll do is I'll make sure I keep the 277 number is a good number to reach you at.
yes,
Okay, I'll make sure that this week I'll stay in contact with you and
okay,
or email you either or. And like I said, we can, because like you said, the weather's coming up, it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would be willing to accommodate myself for anybody else also, because like I said,
okay,
if there's anybody else struggling, they want to come and join. And like I
yeah,
said, you won't have to just, keep meeting with one
right,
person at a time, where you can just kind of do it all in one, almost like a classroom setting, I guess you could say.
right, yeah. So I'm trying to think of a library that I know there's one on Colburn Road here in Lee Summit that is a newer one that's open. The one that's probably closest to campus, they're redoing it right now here in Lee Summit. But I mean, we might try a library setting that might be better for working with multiple students. So, well, I may just wait and see what the weather looks like. But I mean, I'm not opposed to any night of the week. I mean, Tuesday night's the only night but I will keep Thursday in mind because I know a lot of people will do a Tuesday, Thursday night class. So
Thursday, I have a
yeah,
class
I'll
on
keep that in
Thursday.
mind to not plan on Thursdays because of that. But are you good with Saturdays?
Yeah, Saturdays I'm pretty much free.
Okay.
I'm trying to get accustomed to using those days to do my work and study and stuff
Right.
like that. So, but Saturdays
Right.
I'm pretty much free. I don't have
Okay.
I don't have really anything to do other than laundry.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'll keep that in mind and I'll see. Well, if we don't get any weather, then we'll be able to do something this week. But it sounds like we're gonna get weather, so we'll just kind of play that by ear and see if maybe Friday or Saturday we can get somewhere and work with you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Do you have an iPhone?
Unfortunately, well, not for unfortunately, but no, I don't.
Okay, I know my husband won't own one, so some people are just that way, but and that's okay too. But I knew I've done is it FaceTime? Yeah.
FaceTime, I like what you're talking to. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, just let me know if you have any questions or if I can try to help you in any way. But yeah, you'll just have to go ahead and get that purchased sometime, but and then just kind of go from there, okay?
Okay. Yeah, I might have to go and hopefully if it's not too bad tomorrow, I'll go to like CVS or something and see if I can purchase like a prepaid card. Because all I have is cash, because unfortunately I'm paying out of pocket for my classes. So they got to set up on my one little debit card or my one little pay card. That money's coming out on the 15th, so I'm trying not to bother it,
Right. I totally understand that. So yeah.
So yeah, that's why I'll try to see if I can go purchase a prepaid card and just pay
You
for
might
it.
when where do you get your textbooks? Do you get those from?
I've been ordering lately. My sister, she actually got me onto this one. I've been renting my textbooks from Amazon because they're a lot cheaper.
Yes.
And you can get them in a couple of days. Unfortunately, with my history class, it took me about a week and a half to get one book, but yeah, that's what we've been doing that. I saw something, I don't know if I explained that to you. I saw something on Amazon. It was a Cengage program, and it was for like $79, and it says Cengage Unlimited, but it came with like 4 free e-textbooks or something like that. So and you was like, just stick with the original one or whatever. So
that probably does not have Mindtap with it, is my guess. I'm not positive. I'm not positive though. But what I was going to say is you might. So do you pay the school every?
Yeah, I'm set up on an installment plan where you have to make the first payment with the installment payment, and then the next one's coming up on the 15th. And the next one's the 15th.
I'm gonna see if you went to the bookstore, if they could like just include that in like your tuition.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know that they would be able to do that, and that way you wouldn't have to, mess with a separate credit or a Visa gift card or whatever, but that may be your best bet right now.
You go to the bookstore, and I was trying to get around to that today, but unfortunately dealing with work, and then when I left work, I was thinking that I was gonna go. I went and tried to get me a few groceries because everybody's acting like it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
So I stopped and got a few things, and then when I looked at the clock, I'm like, oh man, I got like 15 minutes to get home.
Yeah.
Or, and I'm like, well, and then dealing with traffic in the middle of rush hour, it's no fun.
Right.
So I just figured I'd come straight here, and I just said, I'll try to get it. And that's what I should have did. I should have tried to do that yesterday. I can't. I've been having so much going on. It's ridiculous, but I should have tried to do that yesterday.
I totally understand that. So yeah, but yeah, we'll get that going, and then let me know, and I'll help you out as much as I can. Okay.
Okay, sure. As soon as I get that Cengage, I'll just either send you an email or text you or call you and let you know that I got it. And like I said, I'm planning on having it. The weather's not too bad. I'll get it tomorrow, but if I have to wait a few days, and I'll just get it on Friday or Monday, hopefully. Because I don't think the bookstore's open on the weekends.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, you have yourself a good evening.
Okay, will do.
And thank you for listening to me.
Oh, sure.
All right.
You're welcome. All right, we'll see you.
All right.
Bye.
Good night. Bye.